What's up, guys? It's the Gabriel coming back to you. Today we're going to do something a little bit different with the F1 review. Instead of going through all the practice and kind of wasting some time, we're going to cut right to it and go to my reactions and kind of just what I thought altogether of it. Going to this first time at Saudi Arabia, the new Jeddah circuit. Very fast, very tight, narrow. Got a lot of potential for some accidents going into it. 3 DRS zones, that's really looking pretty for the Mercedes. Hard to say, though, who it really favors. Red Bull, Mercedes, new surface, new track. But either way, dampened going into it the week before Frank Williams passed. And, you think back to all the times, when Williams were on top back in the 90s, man, like Mansell's, the FW14, Prost, the next year, just killing everybody. And then going with Damon Hill and Villeneuve, and then just like the iconic, noise coming out of Williams with the Montoya car. But either way, getting into the race, if Hamilton wins and gets the fastest lap, it's heads up in Abu Dhabi. And there, you got new track changes there. So really, it's all to play for in this race. I think the championship hinges more on this race than the final race, really. Because if Verstappen finishes ahead, that's advantage Red Bull. But if Hamilton wins, it's heads up. And, the way they're looking, it's going to be hard to beat Mercedes there. So I watched the race. I watched all of it. I watched the reactions. And, with Lewis's win, I as much as I don't like the guy, I'm not a fan, his lifestyle, all that stuff, I kind of hope he does win going into Abu Dhabi. Because what I saw from Max today was not that of an F1 driver. Up until this point, I wanted him to take it, but just seeing the desperation, and going to really any end to just shove Hamilton off track, anything to defend. I know Lewis has a faster car, and Max thinks it's just fair game at that point. Hey, I'm doing everything I can, but that is, in this sport, in this time, that is just not the way to race to me. And if any viewers of this channel or anyone watches this would probably, get the fanboys involved and start pissing and moaning, but I really just don't think that's the way to race. That was not even video game quality, And the race itself, though, was just chaos in general. Maybe one of the craziest races we've ever seen, with all the debris, the virtual safety cars, the restarts, the penalties. Props to Ocon, even though he didn't get third. But, that was, what an effort by him, and just putting himself in the right spot at the right time again this year, barely losing the podium at the end of Bottas. But coming from the practices, we knew this was going to be crazy. Leclerc's crash was heavy, and you saw it again with Schumacher's in the race. The queuing up on, for the cool downs and the trying to get the tires warmed up and just blind corners. We're lucky we didn't have a really massive accident in qualifying. We got it in the race. You got the pile up. That move with Leclerc, Perez, and Ricciardo. You guys going, I don't know who you could fault there, because you going 3-4 wide into a corner that narrows up, and Leclerc didn't move over. The gap closed and no one lifted. I think that's a racing incident. Mazepin, good to see he's okay. He drove hard into the back of Russell. But it was crazy to watch. It really was. The giving and taking back of the lead after watching a lot of the replays, I don't think Verstappen brake checked him, but you could see both drivers, the way it looked. I think it was more or less they wanted to set themselves up for the DRS zone going down the main straight. So if Verstappen gave it back, he would get it back like he did the next time and took the lead. So, what it boils down to this year, man, it's just been Hamilton is willing to give the space to Verstappen because he knows Max races that way. It's, he's just walking at him, punching, and if you get hit, it's your own fault because you got in the way. Lewis is doing everything he can, it seems, to race cleanly. And, if I were on the Mercedes staff, you saw Toto just go batshit crazy. How can you not? Your guys are doing everything to race the, I guess how they say clean. God knows what they're doing behind the scenes to that car to make it that way. But regardless, it's at least a little more classy than, Red Bull just... you don't even know how to describe it, because it almost goes beyond, Schumacher. Because now you're looking at next week, you go into Abu Dhabi, do we see another Prost-Senna saga? Do we see just Max say, all right, if we both wipe out and don't score, I win. Let's see what happens. Let's try to make it look like a racing incident. What do we, do we send out one of the AlphaTauris and just torpedo Hamilton? Like, you don't know, because it just, nothing really seems like it's off limits right now to how far Red Bull will go to take care of it. We saw a lot of good passing in the midfield with the first that first safety car. Like, that was out of left field. That almost, like, I know the barriers need to be replaced, but I think it should have been done quicker than that, because you had Mercedes come in and get their stop, and then Verstappen's leading, but oh no, we're going to throw a red flag, and now they can just come in and change tires. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but still, like, it was just so chaotic to see all that stuff go on, and the way the race shifted back and forth. You weren't really sure who had the upper hand. It was just all around. I don't want to say a farce. I think there's a lot that the crew at the track can learn in the way of some safety stuff, and just really going forward in qualifying and practice with, like, minimum lap times, something to just. I don't like how they had to do that, and just watching them warm the tires up in the practice and the qualifying was crazy. Other stuff in the race, though, a lot of the Tsunoda thing, too. I mean, like, it sucks for Vettel, because, I mean, he gets hit. He kind of turned in on Tsunoda. That could have been avoided, but then the whole Raikkonen thing, I don't know why he was trying to put himself out there, and it pretty much killed Seb's race. That sucks for him, having to retire at the end. Like I said, the drivers are tied at the top of the standings. Leclerc got up ahead of Norris. I saw them swap positions in the Ferrari guys. I guess that was their understanding there, was to just try to get Leclerc ahead of Norris in the driver's standings, as I think the points evened out a little bit with them and the constructors for third, but Ferrari still well in hand. And the constructors for the lead, Mercedes pull, I think, 28 points clear now, and really, I mean, have it all but sewed up, unless something crazy happens next week to both Mercedes or whatever. But going into next week, I mean, the media chaos that's going to go into the next week after Max getting booed after the race. And I mean, rightfully so. I think that was just classless driving. So he's got to rethink it. I know he won't, because, Red Bull are encouraging it. Like his dad, encourage it. It's just, parenting's another story I don't want to get into on this channel or talking about F1. But regardless, going into next week, it's all to play for. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. They're going to come together again, because it's inevitable. It's almost like they can't be near each other without making contact. I thought it was also pretty shitty of Max to walk off the podium, but hey, that's what it seems like it's coming to now. It's not liking where it's going, and just hoping next year, hey, let's go Ferrari. Let's get them back up there, and they can dominate for the next 10 lifetime. So until next week, guys, in Abu Dhabi, I've been the Game Bro. I hope you'll like this a little bit better, react a little bit, follow my other stuff, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Hit the little bell button. Check out my retro reviews, and if you're a really dark person, like Max Verstappen, check out my Creed Goes With Everything. I'll see you next week, guys. I'm out.